So I said to myself, how cheap can I find a Android phone that has above Android 5.1 that is Android 6? And I found one, which was very cheap, and we're going to get into it right now. So what we got here today is the Panasonic T44. You're not going to be blown away by the specs on this device. It is, it is, let's just say it is relatively low specification, but I wanted to see what was available and what was the quality. So I paid from souk.com 199 reals, approximately what, $53–55 for this phone. I will give you the specs. It is a 4-inch IPS display. Resolution is 800 by 480 or 480 by 800. It has quad-core processor. It has 1 GB of RAM. This one has 8 GB internal memory, and it can take up to 32 GB of SD card. It is only 3G, and it has a 5, you can see it here, 5 megapixel rear camera and a 2 megapixel front camera. And as I said, it has, and I'll prove it to you in case you think I'm lying. Can you see here? Android, where is it? Android 6. Right, so if you can see it, and it's yeah, so it's got Android 6. Oh, and I meant to check the GPU. It has a Mali 400. Okay, so and also you get wireless updates with this phone. So as I said, you're not going to be blown away with much about this phone, but well, what does it have to offer? Well, look, it has Android 6, which is better than a lot of budget phones, which are, some of them are, most of them are lollipop, some are actually below lollipop. So what's good about Android 6? Well, I'm going to tell you. Okay, so this only has 8 GB of internal memory. Okay, so it's not really a lot when it comes to the installing apps. And remember, a lot of apps you can only install internal memory and you cannot move them to the SD card, so you probably find that you could run out of space quite quickly. Now, the good thing about the Android 6 is that when you put in your SD card, you will be offered a choice to reformat the card, and it will become part of the phone's internal memory. So if you have a decent card, class 10, good brand, it will become part of the phone's internal memory. So then you will have what, nearly 40 GB of storage, and you can store as many apps as you want to your heart is content. That's the good thing about Android 6 and above. Although I was trying to help my friend the other day with a Samsung S7, and for some reason Samsung on their TouchWiz UI for Android seemed to have disabled it, and it is not easy to do. It's impossible to do by just I think you need to have a laptop to fiddle around. So it was a bit odd why they did that. So anyway, that's what I like about Android 6 and above. So the Panasonic T44, well, okay, what is the battery? Well, the battery is a 2400 mAh, and what can I say about it? Well, it works, for $50. The screen, look, the screen is relatively low resolution, but imagine this 10 years ago. Whoa! I can remember the first colour cell phone that most of us all had, dumb phones that were black, you know, had the grey and black, no real colour. And I remember sitting on a train, I think I was travelling to Glasgow from Edinburgh, and I saw a guy with a Sony Ericsson phone. No, it wasn't Sony Ericsson, it was an Ericsson phone that had a colour screen. It's probably about 2 inches or something like that, maybe 1.5 inches. Oh my god, I thought it was like, wow, you know. So look, this is $50. What else do you expect for something so cheap? I'm not sure. Okay, so camera wise, it's 5 megapixels. I'm going to show you here. It is not particularly brilliant. Oh, I had the flash on. But let's see here how that looked. There you go. It's can you see me? I'll try and move my hand away and not have that. I mean, look, it's 5 megapixels, so okay, be alright for uploading something to Facebook or Instagram and putting a filter on it, but it's not going to, you know, it's not going to be a professional photo. So, you know, manage the old expectations. It has its own, let me find the name of this, it's called, let me just tell you, because I forgot. It has its own, it's not a skin, well it is a skin I suppose. I think it's called Sail OS or something like that, or Sail UI, SAIL. Yeah, there it is there. So you have a choice between Sail UI, let's just see what Marshmallow launcher looks like, Sail UI Lite, which was fine, and this is the stock Marshmallow launcher, which is probably, I'll keep it like they ran out my camera, so I had to recharge it. Anyway, so yep, Marshmallow is Marshmallow. It looks fine. It's you know, flipping between the screens and the apps, it's not bad. Now I did read a few reviews online. This phone, now remember the price of this phone, so this phone really is for the cheaper markets, okay, where people obviously don't have as much money to burn on a smartphone. So I did read some Indian reviews, and some people, there was half of them saying that they really liked it and half of them saying that they thought the phone was hanging. So in my limited time of using it, I found it to be okay. It's not particularly fast, but you know, look, it was fine for the very, very basic stuff. So as long as you keep it relatively app free, I suppose you won't be too disappointed with it. Call quality, I made one call to my wife, she says hello, and it was fine. Look, it wasn't great, but it was fine. And I mean, if you're, you know, this is dual SIM card. I mean, you could use it as your second phone, or you could put a data SIM in it, or give it to your kid. You don't want to spend too much money. Their emergency phone, you know, it will do the basics for you. Or like a travel phone, you know, small travel phone, relatively unobtrusive. I suppose, you know, it would be, you know, it would more than suffice. So, and really for $50 this is what you're going to get. Now the Antutu, I did Antutu, but I did delete it because this phone is going, I'm donating it to a charity event, and this, so I deleted it, but it was 17,200 or 400, can't remember exactly, but that's to be expected for this kind of specification. And really, you know, 1 GB of RAM is like the bare minimum to keep Android running albeit slightly slowly. So again, it's all about managing the old expectations. Now of course it's you know, the clip off back, let me show you, it's relatively easy to remove from the corner. You just unclip it here and then you will see your replaceable battery if you want, and then here is the SIM card slot, dual SIM, and the SD card slot. So, you know, relatively easy, pretty simple, and then it will just slip back on again. Now I did try one song via my RHA 950s. Now I know I'll go on about these again. You know, my Jaybird X2 Bluetooth ones, these are RHA, Scottish company. These are about £30 I think, maybe even less now. Check Amazon. The sound from these is absolutely phenomenal for the price. It's a great company, they have great products, high-end stuff and relatively low-end stuff that sounds brilliant. So RHA, check it out. The sound was fine on this, so you know, it was what I expected. It wasn't totally horrendous, but you know, it was acceptable. Again, if I was travelling and I wanted to hear some music, then well, you know, it's better than nothing. Definitely. Now, I mean, watching any kind of media, well, look, if you keep the file small enough, I suppose it would be fine through your watching through your headphones. The onboard speaker is not particularly, I don't even know where the speaker grill is. The onboard speaker is not particularly good, but you know, it's again, it's $50. Now, you know, who would buy it? Well, as I said, you know, people who don't really have as you know, you know, a bigger disposable income, I suppose it's fine. People like Panasonic. Now, I reviewed a Panasonic phone before, higher specification, cost a lot more money. I thought it was a pretty solid phone. Panasonic camera I've used in the past. Panasonic, you know, is a brand name, so you know, it does carry that kind of cachet with it. So you know, people might feel safer buying a brand name than an unknown you know, Chinese brand. So you know, that's probably who would you know, who would buy it. For me, you know, I think at least it's got Android 6. As I say, some lucky person will get this free on that charity event. And yeah, that is it. Really got not much else to say about it. It's but it is what it is. So that's it. Panasonic T44. Buy it, don't buy it. It's up to you. Bye.